Hi everybody, this is Coach Allison back with Defy Aging Week 34, I believe. This week we're going to have two small circuits happening simultaneously. There's only 3 exercises or 3 stations within each circuit. So you might have to double up at each station as well. That's fine, we can accommodate that. And you're going to run through, if you start with circuit A or circuit B, whichever one you start with, you're going to run through 4 rounds of 30 seconds on and slightly less rest at 25 seconds rest. So 4 rounds of that within that 1-3 exercise circuit. We'll take a little break after that. Swap circuits, so everyone does A and B. Repeat 4 more rounds of 30 seconds on, 25 seconds off, and then team builder at the end. All right, let's go through some demonstrations. So for circuit A, the first station is going to be an adduction with one of these squishy balls. So the Silver Sneakers balls or the equivalent will work just fine. Vibrant physical therapists should have some as well. But it's going to be a hip. This first circuit, circuit A, is mostly hip focused for all 3 exercises. So this one, people tend to think it's an inner thigh exercise because you are squeezing those muscles, but really it's a hip exercise. You're going to place the ball between the thighs. You want it up more towards the knee, so you don't want it too high up here. After that, all we're doing is squeezing as hard as you can. And it is harder than it looks and sounds if you really squeeze as hard as you absolutely can. So pretend you're trying to pop the ball. Sit up tall, though we don't want to start to slouch while we do this. We want to keep that posture, so chest up, shoulders back. And we just do reps. Hold each rep for maybe a 1-second count. As you can see, I'm giving it a 1-second pause. And that's about it. Pretty straightforward. Again, harder than it looks. Pretend you're trying to pop that ball so you get a good squeeze. And that's station 1, exercise 1. Okay, station 2 for circuit A is going to be actually the reverse of what we just did, sort of. We're going to be doing a clamshell. You can use the mini band if you would like a little added resistance for this. So you'd probably want to sit to do this. But if you'd like a little added resistance, put the mini band just above the knee. You don't have to use the mini band. It is optional. Either way, this part, the exercise looks the same whether you have the band or not. So you just recline comfortably, head in your hand on one side, feet together, and raise and lower that top leg. We did this a couple weeks ago with mobility with the elevated clamshell. Now we get to rest the feet on the floor. So notice though that this is about as far as I can go with my leg. To go any farther up, I would have to tip and rock backwards. So what we want to avoid is trying to get so much range of motion that we need to rock our body backwards. So yes, it feels like you're moving the leg more, but really it takes the focus out of the hip. So we want to stay nice and level here. We don't want to tip backwards. Just lift the knee as high as you can. Same as the other exercise, one little half or 1-second pause at the top. And there we go. Since we are doing 4 rounds, we'll do 2 rounds on each side. So you don't have to worry about switching sides halfway through. So if anybody's staying off the floor, we'll do a standing leg opener. Similar effect, slightly different because we don't have any resistance that we're pulling against with, like if you're using the band, that's resistance. Otherwise, if you're just lying on your side, even just gravity is the resistance. So this will be a little different, but it still gets the same movement. So if we're staying off the floor, we're going to lift the leg and do an open and close with this side. You can hold on to something for balance. That's no problem at all. So make sure if you are doing this option, though, that this stationary leg is staying still and you're not kind of turning your body like this, because what that does is kind of twist the kneecap. So make sure that leg is staying super planted and still. So 2 options there for the second station, the clamshell. Third station for this circuit is a goblet high knee. So this is hip as well, but it'll be some core and shoulders, which is great. But it's hip, now it's more like hip flexor because we worked the outer hip, the inner kind of hip, all the adductors and abductors. Now we're going to work the hip flexor. So it's all hip focused, like I mentioned. So we hold that goblet style kettlebell like we've been doing a lot of lately and alternating high knees. Get the knees as high as you can. If you can break parallel, like this is parallel, if you can try to go a little higher, that's terrific. Better range of motion without leaning back, of course. We aren't going for speed here, so this isn't we're not going, really fast. You want it to be on the slower side because we want to focus on that balance as well. All right, so goblet high knee, that is our third and final station for circuit A. Moving on to circuit B, this will have all an upper body focus since circuit A was all lower body hip. So it's going to be a quadruped, which means you're on your hands and knees. Single arm, reverse fly. We've done these maybe last month sometime. So you want to be in a tabletop position. Okay, we have a light weight. You're working rear delt here, which is a relatively weaker area for all of us. So pick something on the reasonable side as far as weight. And keep your neck neutral, so make sure we're not drooping the head down or looking excessively up. And we're going to keep a slight bend in that elbow while we raise and lower the arm. So as you can see, my elbow is slightly bent. I want to avoid this locked in elbow. And we also want to avoid any tilting or twisting with the body position. So notice I'm isolating the movement to just my arm, meaning I'm not twisting. See how I kind of did that as a demonstration. I opened up my chest and used momentum. So keep your torso very, very still. Try to isolate the movement just with the arm. It is tricky because, again, it is a weaker area of the shoulder. So it should feel a little challenging. Anyone staying off the floor, you do the same thing with an incline, so you have some support here. You'll want to make sure that whatever you're using is kind of coming right down the center of you, because then that gives this arm room to come straight down, right? And we do that same thing. Nice flat back. Make sure we're not twisting and opening the torso like this, but instead keep your chest facing down at all times. And still have that slight bend in the elbow. So really the movement is exactly the same. Your body position is just slightly different. Same thing as with the clamshell. Since we are doing 4 rounds, we'll do 2 sets, 2 rounds on each side. All right, station 2 for circuit B. A little bit of arms this week, some isolated arms. Now, I know a lot of our exercises use the arms, like a chest press or a push-up or what we just did before this. They use the arms, but they're not arm exercises. Arm exercises are biceps or triceps. Everything else is going to be your back, your chest, your shoulders. And your arms are really just the levers. So just a little education for you. So this is going to be isolated arms, bicep curls with the band. Very straightforward. We just haven't done these in a while. We do it with dumbbells more often. So you want to place the band under the center of the feet. Make sure it's in the arch of the shoe. If your shoes are kind of more flat, don't have arches, make sure it is right in the center. So what we don't want to happen is have the band too far up by the toes, and then when you're pulling to curl, it flops out like that. We don't want to deal with that. So if it's in the center of your foot, that won't be a problem. Keep the upper arms right along your rib cage, your side. Meaning by that I mean they're not drifting back here, and they're not coming too far forward. So just pretend you have a pin in your elbow that's going straight into your side, and that locks those upper arms in. If it becomes, there's different resistance bands. If the one you pick just gets a little hard towards the end, step on it with one foot, recenter it. But if you take one foot off, it reduces that resistance just a little bit, so it lightens the load just a little bit. But that's bicep curls for station 2. Okay, station 3 for circuit B. That rhymed, is a stability ball plank. And I'm going to offer an advanced version to make it a little more challenging if you feel ready for that. But a stability ball plank, I'll show it to you first and then I'll explain it. I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like, but you're in a plank on a stability ball. But it's, a little tricky to get in and out of it. If you have the ability to kneel, a lot of people like to start this way, kind of kneel down in front of it or behind it, I guess, put your elbows on it. And then just then you can lay your torso on it to get your feet set, and then lift your torso off the ball. Because a stability ball plank, you can't be resting on the ball because that's not knee work. So you do have to have your chest and your stomach off the ball. Want to avoid the hips up, so make sure that butt is not in the air like this. If kneeling is not comfortable for you, it is definitely possible to get in and out of this without that component. What you do is you bend down first, put your elbows on it, and then step back with one leg, step back with the other. So a couple ways to do that. The point of the stability ball plank is it's adding in stability, so it adds a challenge. Now, if the stability ball is new for you, what you can do is press it against something stationary, like a wall, or in this case, I'm going to use this bench. Because what that does is now it has a little stabilizer here. I'm pushing the ball into this stabilizer, so the ball can't 100% wiggle all around. But you're still kind of training your body for that squishiness of the ball. So it's kind of a good middle ground if you are just starting these. If you feel like you're more advanced with these, because we do them occasionally, so if you've been with us for a long time, we can add little tiny circles. So you get in your plank, and then your arms are what circles. So notice how my torso is staying still, and I'm not using my feet to just push my entire body, because now I'm using my feet to push my torso around. Now I'm doing it the right way, which is just circling the arms. What that does is create more movement. Whenever your arms go a little farther than your body, it's more core. You'll feel that right away when you do those circles. The farther your arms are out here, it's harder. As you circle them down, it gets a little lighter. Definitely an advanced version of this. So try it if you're up for it. And anyone avoiding the ball altogether, maybe you're not there yet with your planks, which is totally fine because planks are hard enough on their own before we add something like this. So feel free to do a standard plank on the floor or on an incline on your forearms, whether it's on your toes or your knees, whatever works for you with where you're at this station. Progress as you feel ready. Okay, team builder time. There wasn't a ton of cardio in the circuits this week, so we're going to add some of the cardio now at the end with the team builder. It's going to be a jog, shuffle, relay. So larger sessions, you might split into two groups and kind of race each other. Smaller sessions, just all work as a team and see how quickly you can get it done. Your coach will decide how you'd like to do that. But you're gonna jog. Sorry, I got distracted. There's a lot of people in my turf space today, so I'm confined to right here. So everyone knows what jogging is. Now, jog is different for everybody. It might be faster for some of us, but it can also be a speed walk. So if jogging isn't something that you are able to do at the moment or you're not there yet, speed walk it. Go as fast as you can. You're going to do that down the turf, and then on the way back, you're going to face one direction and do our shuffle. It's the best I could do with having 4 feet of space. And then you do it, you turn and go forward and jog again. Then on the second way back, you face the other way and shuffle again. So it's kind of down, back, then your turn is done. Because you jog down, shuffle one direction back, jog down, shuffle the other direction back, or I should say face the other direction. Does that make sense? Everyone's going to do that one time. We'll see how long it takes everybody to get it done. Give it your all, and that's our team builder. All right, everybody, so that wraps up the week 34. Hope you enjoy these movements and this workout. See you back next week.